So you want to take your messaging to your clients, your prospects, and your sphere to the next level using video, but you don't know exactly how to do it. Well, stay tuned because this video is just for you. What's happening? J.C Agajanian here, broker associate with the Whissel Realty Group, talking about video messaging today. And the king of video messaging services is BombBomb. It's a service that I've used for a long time, and most of the agent friends that I know use this system as well. But it's not the only ones out there. There are free alternatives to BombBomb, and there are competitors as well. We're just using this as a ubiquitous name like we would for Q-tips and ear swabs, right? So in short, it's direct video messaging. We're not talking about creating videos to fire off to thousands of people in your database. Like, that's not the purpose of these short form video messaging apps, or really the reason they're created. Some people manipulate the system and use it for that purpose, but there are frankly other tools that do that a lot better. So we don't do that with BombBomb, or you can use Loom or some of the other things as well when we use them. So what do we use a short clip video messaging system like this for? And by the way, this is something you could do inside your text message inbox. You could create a quick video, save it to your camera roll, and send it out. It's just a little bit better to do it this way because of the various tools that you have through the system, like being able to track and see engagement when they're looking at things, be able to make shorter URL links, have it hosted offsite, et cetera, et cetera. So there's real reason to pay the company, but you don't have to. You could accomplish these goals through other methods. So one of the first things that I'll share that I do with short-term video messaging, specifically the BombBomb tool, is a seller update, right? And so let's say I've got a listing that's live, it has not sold yet, and we've got a little bit of a more than expected market time, or even if it's an average market time. In this day and age, if it doesn't sell in the first week or two, then sellers are going, what the heck's going on? We have to educate them and make them know that we're not in that type of market anymore, and to have expected appropriate market times. But that doesn't mean they don't need that hand holding. That doesn't mean they don't need that update. That doesn't mean they don't need to know what's going on. So what we do is we create a weekly email for active listings that have not sold yet, explaining what's happened in the market since we've gone live or since the last update. Usually it's every week, sometimes it's twice a month, depends on how you want to stretch out that cadence. So we're going to give them market indications. And this is information like the amount of new properties that have come on in your area in the past month, the amount of properties that have gone pending and gone off, what sort of competition, how many properties are reasonably considered comps that are available on the market now, how many of those are higher priced than ours or lower priced, how do we stack up with the competition? We're also going to talk about showing time inventory numbers. So showing time actually has a back end of their portal, so you can tell your sellers how much showing activity has changed over the past week or month or whatever the case may be. And you can help them understand that showing is a precursor to activity with offers, right? Obviously they need to see properties before they can write on them. So we can tell them which direction the market is going through that metric as well. But more importantly, they want to know what's going on with their property. They want to know how many showings they've had on their property in the past week. How many people came to their open house last weekend? Are there any offers coming in? What is going on with their listing? And this is all a great way to use video if we are measured and predictable with it. We can get this email out on a regular basis. And if we need to suggest a change to our seller's listing status, maybe a price reduction, maybe an improvement, maybe some paint, whatever the case may be, we can break all the information down, present it to them with links and PDFs and a video from us talking about the information we're providing. We can then make our recommendation. For this reason, I think we should do a X amount reduction on this date, and this is why. You explain it all out. The reason we do this is because most people respond immediately with emotion and much later with thought, right? So we need to let them digest this information with us not live on the phone, with us not face-to-face standing in front of them. Provide information, make recommendations, and then say in the end of the call video or at the end of the email, please let me know when a good time to talk about this might be. I'm tied up for the next couple hours or something like that. We want to install some sort of reason for a required time delay before we can get together to discuss this. Because we have to allow this information to pass through the emotional state and back into the logical state so that we can then have a reasonable conversation and figure out how they really feel about that. If they don't want to agree with us, that's fine, but at least now we're not purely working with the emotional person, but we're working with the logical person, and we can make progress on their listing and move forward. So that's just one example of how we're using short form video to benefit our business on a regular basis. Another thing you could do is embed them in your regular email newsletters that go out on a consistent basis. Maybe it's weekly, maybe it's twice a month, maybe it's a monthly newsletter, but you're sending something out regularly using video and text or links. Type, and these are the types of things that you just want to have a real sexy, engaging topic to pull them in, to actually get them to watch and or read what you've put together. This is something like so exciting or shocking or disturbing that you're thinking like the National Enquirer headline in the grocery store checkout, right? That thing that makes you go, I know this is probably not for me, but I'm gonna read it anyways. And that's how they sell magazines. And we're not trying to steer people in the wrong direction, but we are trying to grab their attention. So maybe, something sexy like, hey, I was thinking about you, and it seems like your Zillow estimate is at this number, and I feel like it might be wrong. I've got my opinions about it as well. I'm wondering what you think about it. Give me a call. Like that's a pretty juicy little headline or opener. Another concept would be, hey, we're selling our listings for 7% above list price. Call me to learn more about how we're doing it, or something like that, right? So these are the types of headlines we mean when we're saying sexy and juicy, something eye-catching and attention-grabbing. And if you're having a hard time, figuring out what topics to do videos about, jump on Reddit, jump on Google, jump into Facebook real estate related threads. And the ones that are getting all the engagement, the ones that are having lots of conversation, the ones that people maybe disagree about, those are great video ideas that you can just take and say, hey, this is what all these people are saying about it. I don't agree with those people, but I do agree with them. And this is what I'm going to say about it to my people, right? It's just a way to quickly and easily get hot topic conversations surrounding real estate that you can serve up to the people reading your newsletters. So those are ways you can use it. But remember, the purpose of a service like BombBomb is for two-way communication, right? So maybe you have something that you want to catch someone's eye on because you haven't been able to get them to pick up the phone or to respond to an email or a text. Use a little bit of video for these types of nurtures and follow-ups that are just you're not being able to contact people. If someone knows you've been trying to reach out to them, they probably recognize the number. Maybe they don't remember who you are, but they see a moving GIF of your face on a video as it comes across. There's a much higher likelihood that they're going to click on that and at least hear you out and see what you have to say. And it's at that point that you have to have a compelling video clip that is not too long and that is warm and enough to get them to think about you and either respond to your call to action, which would be a phone call back or maybe a click here or a message there, but something to elicit that response, right? And a video that's two-way, that's directly, specifically created for them, and it's not being broadcast to a bunch of people, that's a great way to encourage some engagement, right? Another great way to use this type of messaging is for follow-ups at an open house. And I don't mean Monday or Wednesday or Thursday for some of you when you get back to your office and you're getting caught up after the weekend. I mean right then and there, before you lock the doors and go move about to pick up the rest of your signs, create a video, something that is either personal and direct to one or two of the people that you met coming through your open house and that you want to connect with, or you can make one that applies to everybody that maybe is specific to the property and the open house that you held today, but doesn't have someone's specific name inside of it, so that you can record one video standing there at the property, send it to each person that came out, and it seems as though it's a unique individual email or video as well. Both ways to do it, both get the same message across, is thanks for coming through today. here's something from me. Just wanted to bring up this thought to you. Let's get together soon. Whatever the case may be. Another couple ideas that you could use these short form videos for are to send a quick, happy birthday message, post it as a DM in Facebook or an Instagram or something like that. Or you can, just make a thinking of you type of clip for an old friend or maybe a contact that you've fallen out of rapport with that you would like to get in conversation with again. You don't have to have anything real clever or creative to say. The point is that you're doing something more than a simple text message or a phone call that's not going to get answered. You're taking a little bit more time, you're putting your face on camera, and you're sending them something heartfelt and specific to them, and that's what they care about. Ultimately, the goal should be for you to have this kind of communication at least over the phone, but more importantly, if you're not reaching people that are in your database that you've worked with in the past or that you want to work with in the future, at least 4 times a year. You've got to have these quarterly reach outs. That's why we have quarterly events that we invite people to. It really makes our job easier to just say, hey, you want to come to this thing for free? I'm not asking for you for anything. And that way you're at least able to stay in rapport with these people. But even if you don't have that, you can still take advantage of these video tools to stay in contact with people like that and make sure that when they do come time to transact, you are still top of mind and not somebody else they just met. We're going to wrap it right there for the conversation surrounding short form videos, specifically BombBomb in this example. But feel free to reach out right here with any questions or comments about my experience with the tool or how I work with it on a regular basis. I'd be happy to share. Talk to you soon.